Quinn Profiles. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, LA Style, and Detour magazines, Joan covered the social set, the Hollywood hotshots, the international art scene, the mysteries of food, the excitement of travel, and the fabulous world of fashion. Joan continues to find creative people on the cutting edge who make things happen. Here's Joan Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Waiting to be profiled are actor Navid Negahban and artist Michael Vollbracht. Actor Navid Negahban was born and raised in Mashhad, Iran, where he fell in love with acting at the age of 8. He later traveled through Germany for several years, honing his theatrical skills prior to arriving in the United States. You've seen him on numerous TV shows and in film, playing a broad range of intriguing characters. When you were 8, what did you do on stage that made those people laugh?
I was playing an old man.
Oh, an old man?
Yes, actually, it's like I was playing a minister, or I was playing an old man who was marrying two younger kids, and it was fun because when I was standing up there, I realized that I can make the people laugh.
I know, that's what you said.
It was amazing, and right then. I thought, okay, maybe I got something. Maybe there is something there. Was it the kind of thing where the older people would say, "Oh, get up, Navid, and do something for us," or was it something else? It was a play.
Oh, it was a
play that we were doing. It was a school play at the end of the year. So we rehearsed it during the year, and at the end of the year we had to perform.
So it was actually
it was a production.
Yes, it was a production.
Yes.
When you were traveling in Germany and also in Iran after that, did you take acting classes?
I took some acting classes in Germany. I worked with a like a deaf theater company. I had a friend who was deaf.
Oh.
And he took me to one of their classes, one of the kind of like a black boxes, small theaters that they were performing. They were working with each other, and I really fell in love with miming. Because they could say so much without saying, and whatever they were saying, it was honest, it was sincere, because it was right coming from inside without going through your brain, manipulate it, and then put it out.
Fantastic.
And
I was just going to say, did you do it in German? But you were miming more.
Yeah, but actually it helped me in Germany, because for a while I did some. I kind of performed on the street. And,
did you?
Yeah, and then joined a theater company in Germany, and we toured around the country and we performed different shows.
So were you speaking German?
I speak German. I haven't used it for 16 years, so I'm a little bit.
But when you were in there, you were performing in German?
Yes, everything was in German.
What city did you come to in the U.S. and what then brought you here?
I left Germany. I just followed my heart. I came here. I went to San Diego. I stayed in San Diego.
Oh, you came to California first?
Yes. I was in San Diego for a while, and the style in Germany, the style of acting is very technical. It's completely different than the style here. And when I came here, I went back to school. I took some classes at the City College and Mesa College in San Diego, and I got kicked out of the theater company. I couldn't keep my mouth shut.
Were you playing an old man?
No.
An opinionated person, maybe.
Yes, I was arguing with the professor, and I never forget. One day he pulled me out of the theater and said, I really appreciate it if you leave my theater and never come back. You want to take acting classes, go take it from someone else, not
really?
from me.
That's pretty harsh, isn't it?
But that was the best thing that happened to me.
You learned?
I learned. I took classes from someone else, Russell St. Clair. And Russell, he went to school in London, Royal Academy of Shakespeare. He was fantastic, and he pulled me out of the class. He said, "I've studied for over 25 years, and I'm a teacher. Once in a while, I direct a play. Do you really want to do it?" I said, "Yeah, I want to do it." He said, "Then what are you doing here in my classes? Just go outside and do it."
Is that right?
Yeah.
So getting kicked out of the first class led you to someone who told you you could do it.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And that's kind of opened the doors. Did a short film, and that was it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Was it easy then to break into TV and to get an agent after that?
I kind of broke into the indie world. I started doing.
Indie.
I did a short film. The short film went to Slam Dance, won the grand jury at Slam Dance, and then went to different film festivals. And one of those film festivals, I was nominated for Best Actor. That brought me here to Los Angeles, and I started doing small bits and pieces, kind of like a co-starring roles here and there. And
then they know your name, and they know you from Slam Dance, and they're looking for you probably.
Yeah, and then kind of started from there, and I work with some good directors.
Well, you work with Jim Sheridan, who's
Yes.
fantastic,
Yes,
in the
yes.
film Brothers with Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
What character did you play in that?
In that film, I'm playing an Afghan military officer or insurgent. In their eyes, he's an insurgent, but he's a warrior. He was one of the militant who fought against Russians when they came and they invaded Afghanistan. And then is it's kind of teaching is a conflict between the Afghans and the American soldier, and the stories about the two brothers, two American brothers.
The brothers.
One of them is taking care of the wife of the husband of the other brother who went to Afghanistan and disappeared.
That's it. And Powder Blue with Forrest Whitaker and Jessica Biel.
Yes.
Who was that director?
That one is Tim Bowie. And
what did you play in that?
I played a doctor.
Oh, so you can play. You don't always have to be a bad guy.
Oh no, gosh!
I remember you from The Stoning of Sorrel. You're so handsome, but you were such a bad guy.
Thank you. No, it is good.
So you play a doctor in Powder Blue.
I played doctor. I played I played Italian, Russian, Latino.
Yeah, you can play any kind of role, can't you? In Broken with Heather Graham?
In Broken with Heather Graham, I'm playing store manager, a restaurant owner, where Heather Graham works.
And who directed that?
That one was White, Thomas White. Or gosh, I'm messing up.
Well, we're not going to forget the next one, because it was Mike Nichols who directed Charlie Wilson's War that you were in with Tom Hanks.
Yes.
Was it fantastic working? I mean, Mike Nichols, Jim Sheridan, those are like really top names.
Oh, it was fantastic. And see, the thing is, when you work with them, it goes back. It's like a theater company. It's like a family.
Yeah, is it?
They all sit together. We talked, and it was Mike. He was fantastic. He was fantastic working with him. Tom, he's like an older brother. Even when he was on the set, he was going. And what I admired about him is that the scene requires lots of concentration. He's right into his moment, and then even if there's a background actor who's coming up and says hi, he switch and he pays attention to the background actor and talks to them, and then he goes back into his scene and he does it. It was fantastic.
A true professional. But you can learn so much, can't you? I bet you did learn so much from that. The thing with you is you can just change your looks. A mustache, a beard, sideburns. I mean, have you had to do that in all of these different?
Most of my
a goatee.
Yes, I mean, No, the funny thing is that most of the people, they don't. Okay, I did two shows. I did Law and Order, and I did Law and Order Special Victim Unit. The post-production company is the same for both.
Oh, I see.
For both projects. So when I did the second one, when I did the Special Victim Unit, they had to do some ADR, and they called me. I went in, and then the moment that I walked in, the gentleman who was doing who was in charge of the mixing, he looked at me and said, "Oh my God, I thought I hear
heard your
familiar
voice.
but I couldn't place it. I couldn't recognize you
Because you look so different?
The character that I'm playing is a 60-year-old doctor.
So there.
Who's,
So do you speak Arabic?
I do speak
On
Arabic.
film? Or Farsi?
I speak Farsi fluent. I speak Dari.
Oh, have you had to speak those in some of these roles?
Yes, actually, I learned Dari just because of the projects, because I had to speak Dari, so I started learning, and it's very similar to Farsi, so it was very easy to learn it. Arabic.
Dari, where do they speak that?
In Afghanistan.
In Afghanistan.
In Afghanistan, it's actually the old, kind of older Farsi.
I see.
And then I've done Russian, done Italian.
So do you speak those languages?
I speak the language. I'm not fluent, but
enough to get you through.
Yes.
In Stoning of Soroya, the Stoning of Soroya M, what did you speak? Because they did it all in Farsi. It was all in Farsi with subtitles.
That one actually was. I had to work on my Farsi because that's a very specific. I was trying to bring something very specific to the character. So even my accent when I speak Farsi, I had to change it. I had to kind of polish it to suit the character.
Was it more classical or earlier?
No, it wasn't more classical, but the style of speech pattern, it was a little bit different. The character.
Tell us about that character.
The character is, I'm playing Soraya's husband, and the character is a very selfish individual who uses his power and uses his knowledge and the power that he gained through his knowledge about religion to manipulate the situation and get what he wants.
He was manipulating it. You had a beard.
Yes.
And you were very arrogant.
Thank you.
And you were perfect for the role because you were so handsome and you were such a bastard, really. You were, and a coward in a way, wouldn't you say?
That's what it was. He was, to me, what I found interesting about him is that he is like a selfish, spoiled little child who's trying to get whatever he wants, and he doesn't care what's going to happen to him.
How he gets it. And we have only a minute left, but I know you're doing a new project. And what is that project?
I'm working on a new project called Happiness in New York City with a friend of mine.
That sounds good.
I hope so. The project, the moral of the story is how society turns people into what society is afraid of them. There are four guys in New York City that are living in one-bedroom apartment, and how post 9/11, how outside pushes them and forces them to become exactly what they didn't want to be and what society was afraid of them. It's a beautiful script based on true events. Nicholas Gilak.
Oh, you didn't write it?
No, Nico is a good friend of mine, and actually the story, part of the story is based on true events that has happened to us.
Is that right?
Yes, post 9/11, and some news clips that we got here and there. And we put everything together. So the story is inspired by true events.
That's fantastic. And I'm so glad you came to talk to us today.
Thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And don't go away. We'll be right back with Michael Vollbracht, and we'll talk about his book. Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome back to the Joan Quinn Profiles. I'm here with Michael Vollbracht, a true Renaissance man. Michael Vollbracht was born and raised in Quincy, Illinois, the home, he reminds us, of Oscar-winning actress Mary Astor. He then traveled the world as an army brat, ending up at the Parsons School of Design in New York. Within 4 years, the brilliant Michael was working on Jeffrey Bean design team. He then went to work for Donald Brooks, and of course Brooks and Bean were among the top designers of the 70s. In 1975, Michael moved to Henry Bendel as the in-house illustrator and continued his graphic work at Bloomingdale's, where he made that famous shopping bag. It was a sensation, wasn't it, Michael? And I'll let you tell him what it was.
Well, it was a mistake.
It was a mistake.
Well, I think I'm good at deadlines, but I think I missed this one. And Bill Berta, who was the art director at Bloomingdale's, needed the bag very, very quickly, so I just sketched very quickly a face on one side and a face on the other side, and they had it printed with 9 million, and they did not put Bloomingdale's on it.
Was that because you didn't do it, or did they just forget?
I think they forgot it.
And then, but nobody needed Bloomingdale's.
No one needed Bloomingdale's, but it was very strange. I was the most visible artist of that era, not because of my talent and my fame, but if you remember, Bloomingdale's was the store. After Bendel's, everyone went to Bloomingdale's, and so there were 9 million of those bags in either the garbage can or carried by these women who maybe didn't want to carry it, but Bloomingdale's was the it store.
But I remember being in New York, and everyone, I mean, it was kind of a status symbol to have that bag.
Well, I don't think it was status symbol.
It was to us.
Well, it just was that Bloomingdale's was that powerful.
Yeah, it was really good. And then after that, I think the other bag, the big brown bag.
Which I didn't do.
But who, did they do that after that?
Yes.
So that was like completely the opposite of your beautiful face, right?
Yes.
And then just this plain.
Yes.
This kind of funny thing. Wasn't that funny?
Isn't it interesting to know the power of the stores then?
Mm-hmm. And that we remember that?
Yes. Well, you remember Bendel's was so powerful, and it changed. Jerry Stutz, who ran Bendel's, changed all retail because it was the first introduction of the boutique in-store.
Where each floor had a different...
Shoe biz, and it all became... We're of a generation that was quite remarkable in so many things, but retail too, which is totally different now.
Well, because they have individual stores, and before they used to have those individual stores within.
Yes.
The
and that came
larger...
from Bendel's on 57th Street.
Where they started it.
I remember Little Buster.
Yes,
and I opened the door.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
It's like
when did you last think of Buster?
It's like the guy at Christie's, because he was there forever and ever too.
Exactly.
So you always remember those people. You went on to start your own line then.
Yes.
Why did you go to illustrate when you were working on a fashion design team?
Well, I was broke. I mean, I had been fired from Donald Brooks from Nicholas de Gunsberg.
Oh.
And Donald said something about Jerry Stutz, and I became an illustrator, and then I was stolen
Well, you
away.
were an illustrator, because in school...
No, I was really trained as a fashion designer, and that's my first love.
Oh, I thought you were trained in art.
No, I've never had an art class.
So you're just an illustrator on your own, knowing how to do it.
Well, I used to trace Kenneth Paul Bloch's sketches.
Oh,
so
the best.
He was the best. You know, he just passed away.
I know, he was so wonderful.
Well, that was quite remarkable. We were just talking about Antonio and Manning, all the great illustrators.
But they don't use illustrations like they did
They don't do a
before.
lot of things like they used to.
No, I know. Those were so beautiful, and they were so... noticeable. They would just catch your eye.
Well, Antonio Lopez was true genius. I did it as a living. I'm not trying to put myself down, but I understand exactly where I am in the totem pole as illustrator, and I'm there. Antonio Lopez is there.
So, well, we got to your own line.
Yes.
Because your own line brought you the Cody Award, which is like a prestigious award.
Well, today the young audience wouldn't know what a Cody Award was, but then it was like winning the Oscar of the fashion industry. And I won over Zoran and for my second collection, and it was a very bad thing because it happened too quickly.
You were too young?
I was too young and too brash. And remember, I tend to pick up my marbles and leave.
Is that what you are?
Yeah, I'm difficult.
You turn around and walk away.
Yeah, I don't like. Well, that's why I'm out here in L.A. to do this show for the Children's Institute.
Yeah, we're going to talk
child
about
abuse. So I, as being an abused child, I tend to don't like conflict.
Oh, I see. So
And
you just walk away.
I walk away. I don't confront. I walk away.
But so that's kind of an anger management trait.
What's a very
a
bad
way to
one,
do.
I think it's supposed to be very, very bad. So I walked away from the fashion business and then was supported by Elizabeth Taylor for a while.
And but I remember when your clothes were like the top of the line, and Joanna Carson's wore your clothes everywhere.
Yeah.
She was like the model for you in a way.
She was quite beautiful.
And Johnny Carson's wife coming out in Hollywood.
Well, also on the Johnny Carson show, Joan Rivers started wearing all the clothes and got in trouble once by mentioning my clothes on the on air.
Oh, by saying, is
Because
that
she
right?
was contracted with the Carson production and she couldn't do that.
Oh, that's right, she
Because I was
was.
partners with Johnny and Joanna.
That's right. Oh, so it was like a conflict, like you were advertising there.
Yes.
Then you moved, okay, another time, you walked away, you moved to Florida.
I moved to Florida and never to, well, we were talking earlier today that I moved to Florida partly because of the AIDS epidemic, and all my friends and associates and lovers were dying of AIDS, and I thought I didn't want to stay in the city that at that point, remember how bad New York was with Dinkins, and it was filthy dirty and it was depressing. I had to get out of that city.
But you were still at the top of the fashion, your fashion career, when you moved away. And when you went down there, you started doing illustrations for the New Yorker?
No, I started doing illustrations for the New Yorker for maybe 5-6 years, and it was good because I still was involved, because it was when Tina Brown took it over, so I was very visible in one of the best magazines in the world.
Yeah, you kept your face
I
in
kept
the
a face,
forefront.
but I stayed away from the fashion industry.
Well,
And never to go back to the fashion industry, mind you, ever.
you never did.
Yes, I did, but I wasn't
But
going
you
to
weren't going to, right?
Ever. I had it.
Well, is it during that time that you wrote Nothing Sacred?
Yes, because I thought I was going to be next. Since all my friends were dying of AIDS, as a gay man, I was very aware that it could be me next. So I thought I better chronicle the privilege that I had of meeting all these people during the first 25 years in New York City.
I'm going to show the back and tell us what you said about Audrey Hepburn. And this is a chronicle of little vignettes that you've written about different things.
Yes, well, it just, she was so fawn-like. Who's more beautiful? And a new generation of young people don't know who Anne Margaret is. They don't even know who Elizabeth Taylor is, but all young girls know who Audrey Hepburn is.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing?
Yeah, she transcends so many things.
And we were talking about fashion. I think this drawing of Mary McFadden is incredible.
McFadden, well, she was quite incredible.
Were you good friends?
Yes. I still see Mary, and the best of the lot is over there is Carolina Herrera.
Oh, so you were still continuing. Well, this was during the fashion era, though, right? When you were writing this book.
Yes. And Carolina Herrera is still one of the most delicious human beings I've ever met.
Ah. Yeah. So you're having a show
at the Wally Finley Gallery.
Wally Finley Gallery. It's an international gallery. There's galleries in Palm Desert and
Palm Beach, New York,
Palm Desert.
Well,
there might be.
There might be. Los Angeles, New York City, Palm Beach, and Barcelona.
And Barcelona.
So it is international, isn't it?
It is international, and your work will be shown probably in all of those places, but it's in Los Angeles on Robertson.
Yes, exactly.
And tell us why. There was an opening, and you've done a giclée print for the Colleagues.
For the Colleagues, which is an extraordinary group of women who it started in the early 50s to help the Children's Institute, Inc., which is a child abuse program and domestic violence. I'm a product of both, although I've never been married. My family were totally dysfunctional. And
how did the Colleagues find you? Of course, all those women wore your clothes.
Well, they wore my clothes, and I've been back and forth. Though I've never lived in Los Angeles, I've been here all my life. I mean, it's a great city, and for when I was first in fashion, this was our #1 showcase for clothes. A lot of people wore these clothes. You're wearing a bathing suit design of mine that's now, what is it? Oh my God.
How old is it? It was my mother's.
You know,
and look, and here's your...
It's 1980.
And here's your signature, the same signature here in a block.
Yes.
And the one thing that's so beautiful about this are all the different typefaces that you use and the different calligraphy.
Thank you.
Do you choose, I mean, you just invented a lot of those things.
Oh, no.
Yes, you did. The calligraphy, the writing you invented.
Oh, it's called the pathetic scrawl because it's
Pathetic scrawl.
Yeah, it's like I'm a little demented, and so.
But before we leave, the print that you made
Yes.
is for sale, and those proceeds go to the colleagues.
100% of the G-Clay the 100% of the proceeds go to the colleagues for the Children's Institute, and I can't stress how much this organization and of what wonderful job they do to help these children.
The colleagues have always been charitable from the very first
it's an
days.
extraordinary institute, and I'm here to really say that we need this group of women, and they have been most generous.
And this only proved, by doing this print, that you continue to paint. You're self-taught now, you're telling me, or
well,
you didn't go to...
I paint and I still design. In fact, I'm here to go to Saks now and stand on the floor to sell clothes.
And you do a line of fur.
I do a line of fur, and then I have just signed a contract with HSN, which I will be doing in February on camera, where I will be selling, to 18 million women a minute.
Is that right? Is that what they do? What do you design for something like that?
I
to
designed
sell
that.
This?
Yes, instead of selling something that's at Saks for $7,000, you'll be able to buy that for $70.
And that's why you can sell so many units.
Yes, because there's 18 million people
I can't
watching.
believe
I
it.
can't either. And
Are you going to be on the show?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Well, we're going to watch for you then.
Please.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for watching the show. Keep writing to 777 South Figueroa, 44th floor, Los Angeles 90017. See you next time on the Joan Quinn Profiles. JAQUINN1 at AOL.com.